All right, so the vertex form of the equation of a parabola with a vertex hk is given by y equals a, because we need to know that a, because either a is going to be positive or negative, so it's either open up or down. Then x minus h, the quantity squared, plus k. Now remember, this tells us it moves left or right. This tells us it moves up or down. And so that's going to give us our vertex, because if we go back, when we had minus 1 or x minus 1 quantity squared minus 2, we know we're going down 2, so that's going to be our new y value. And we moved right 1, so that's going to be our new x value. So 1, 2, so that's our vertex. And guess what? That's what our vertex was. So coming back over here, that's why we have the vertex. Now it opens up if we have greater than 0, and it opens down if we have less than 0. And again, a cannot equal 0, or we don't have the x squared, and therefore we don't have a quadratic function. All right, so what we want to do now is compare the graph of y equals f of x to the graph y equals x squared, then sketch a graph of y equals f of x and y equals x squared. So this is our f of x, and we want to compare that to x squared. All right, so what do we know is happening? Well, we're going to move right 2, we're going to move up 3, and with the quarter, it's going to be wider. So it's gone out because between, remember, 0 less than x less than 1, the absolute value, I guess we could look at it as that, it's going to make it flatten out more because if we have bigger values, it's going to go more narrow. Okay. So what we can see is it is wider and we've moved over 2 up 3. So we moved over 2 up 3. And so that's our vertex now. And so that's kind of what we have. So again, translated to the right 2 up 3 units. The vertex is 2, 3. And the original vertex, of course, was 0, 0. And it opens up and it's wider. So those are all the different pieces we can get from just looking at the graph before we actually graph it. Now, how would we actually get this graph? Well, we would plot points. We would, after we've done this, we'd say, okay, well, if we're going over 2 and up 3, well, we'd probably start, with the 2 here, and then we might go 3, 4, and we might go 1, 0, and that might be enough points to get at least, a general shape of the parabola, and that would be all we need to plot was those 5 points. All right, so now we're supposed to write the vertex form of the parabola with a equals 3, vertex 2, 1, and then express the equation in the form that. All right, so we know the vertex and we know a. So what we really need to do, going back, we need to write it in this form first, then we're going to have to square it, multiply by a, and then add our k. So that's what all the things we're going to have to do here. So plugging it into this form, a is 3, so we'll plug a 3 here. H is what? 2, and k is 1. So we plug all those in, and we have this. Now, again, like I said, we're going to square that, multiply everything by 3, and then add 1. So squaring it, we get x squared plus 4 at the end. And then don't forget, everybody always forgets the middle term. And so when you're doing this, if you forget the middle term usually, go ahead and write it out like this. And so we have x times x, which gives us x squared. Then we have a minus 2x, minus 2x. And then we have plus 4, so that gives us the minus 4x. So that's the term usually most people are going to forget when they're foiling it back out. They're going to see, oh, x squared minus 2 is going to be 4, and then they leave out that middle term. Totally wrong. So always remember when you FOIL, you're going to have, those 4 pieces, and then you're going to add the 1 at the end after multiplying by 3. So now we're multiplied by 3, so it'll be 3x squared minus 12x plus 12, and then plus 1. And of course, I've written over that. So now let's erase that so we can see what they're showing. And so now what we have is multiplied out plus 1. So that becomes now 13. And that's going to be in our form ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. So that's kind of a general form. Now we're supposed to write each of these in vertex form and then identify the vertex. All right. So when we do that, what are we going to do? Well, here what we have is we're going to kind of do the midpoint and everything like that. So we're going to take a b squared over 2, so minus 8 over 2, square that. So that's going to be a minus 4 squared is 16. So we're going to add and subtract 16 on the right. So going through here. And so do that. And again, what we're doing is trying to complete the square. And so now what we have is we can factor this. And so that's going to be x minus 4, the quantity squared. And it's 13 minus 16 is minus 3. And because we have a 1 here, the a is just 1. And so that is going to be our final answer. And so we just have 4 minus 3 as our vertex. Okay, so that's for A. Now for B, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, because we have that coefficient 2 here. Okay, so what we have to do is we need to factor out that 2 from the first term on the right side. And first two terms, I should say, on the right side. So we're going to take the 2 out of here. So we have 2 and then x squared plus 4x. So now we're going to have the b over 2 in quantity squared. So that's going to be 4. So we're going to add 4 and subtract it here. And so when we do that, what do we get? Well, guess what? We get 2 times that because we have to take 2 times it because of the 2 out front. So that's the key thing here. We have to multiply by 2. Here, we didn't have to multiply by anything. We just said, okay, well, that was 16, so we subtract 16. Here, we're like, oh, well, we have the 4 and the minus 4. Well, we have to multiply by that to get the proper value, and so that becomes a minus 8 over here. We keep it here as just 4 because we still have that 2 times it here, but when we take that out to the other side, we have to take 2 times the minus 4 to get the minus 8. Now we factor that. That's just x plus 2 to the quantity squared. That difference is minus 1, so 2 times the x plus 2 quantity squared minus 1. So that's going to be a minus 2 minus 1. It's going to be our vertex, and so that's going to be our answer there. All right, so again, this is just hopefully to get you started. We'll come back with others later with actual solving questions.